So I'm recording this in May of 2021, and recently, the CDC has recommended that people who have gotten their vaccine can take off their mask. And even when they change, I hope they will change that to everybody who has COVID-19 antibodies. But even after that, I'm going to keep my mask on. I find that of having my mask off makes it too easy for me to speak too freely sometimes to the point that it hurts myself. I find if I go to a meeting and I have my mask on, it slows me down, and also it makes it easier for me to hide my facial expressions. Let me give you an example. This example haunts me to this day, even though it's been over a year now. In 2020, COVID-19 hit, right? I'm an adjunct professor of a technical college here in the Seattle area, and we got some news about how the ongoing crisis is going to affect our campus. My dean had personally called me. I answered the telephone. Obviously, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm in my apartment, right? And I get anxious to interrupt her with what I've been doing with my research. She says, we're sorry to inform you that these courses have been canceled. Oh, Dr. X, I've been doing this and this and this. And as soon as I said it, I realized that my dean wasn't done talking, and I stopped. Unfortunately, my dean never finished that sentence. Had I just held in there for another 30 seconds and listened to the full extent of her discussion, I might have been able to have more information. And to this day, I still don't know what she would have said. That's how sad it is. I completely erased what she would have said, completely off of the history. And just sad. Just sad. I won't know what I gave up. And I'm reminded by this today, actually. The reason I'm making this video is I had a situation today. Fortunately, it was nothing high stakes. I'm doing some tutoring, and my student and we had a very laggy internet connection, and it made us unintentionally interrupt each other. By the time he spoke, it had been 5 seconds after I thought I was done speaking, and I thought he didn't have a good answer, and I spoke, and he did the same thing. And it just reminded me of what happened that time with my dean. And it reinforces the idea I need a buffer between when I think about something and when I say it. And I find the mask to be very helpful. But more importantly, I need to think hard before I speak also. I do that a lot. Last year around the same time, I was living in an apartment and I needed to renew the lease. And I knew my landlord was not allowed to raise the rent, even though it was a month-to-month lease. We had, in Washington State, we had an eviction moratorium. It's still ongoing, actually. I got very nervous when I was talking to my landlord. I told her, I started out without mentioning anything about the moratorium, just that I need to stay until, I think it was the end of March when this happened. I need to stay April as well. That's all I said. And he said, okay, great, it would be this amount. And it was like 3-4 times what I paid in March. Because I got a very good deal in March because I booked it on Airbnb and nobody was traveling. And to be honest, I kind of took advantage of the situation in a reasonable. If we didn't have that emergency, there's no way I could expect that rate to continue. I kind of took advantage, to be honest. It was within my right to do so, but I got very edgy when I was talking to my landlord, and it didn't go very well. I should have let her do more talking than I did. I got too carried away with being upset about what I was hearing. I need to take the emotions out of the discussion. I got too upset about my dean telling me about the courses being canceled that I didn't want to hear the rest of the story. And information is always worth something, even if it's bad information, even if it's insulting information. Just try to remember that you're collecting currency when somebody is running their mouth. Or you wouldn't, if you were collecting government stimulus, you wouldn't tell the government to shut up, right?